something to dance.
Okay, this was a quick little like lucid dream virtual reality experience I had about August 9th. And anyway, you know, most people, they'll, if they actually remember, and, you know, if they remember their dreams or whatever, even if they have a virtual reality experience, they're going to call it a dream. But like, you know, they're going to wake up thinking it's real or some kind of premonition when the aliens are just screwing with your head. They're just, because that's how they operate. That's what they like doing. They like to read your thoughts, whatever's in your brain, and then boom, create a dream for you. You know, I mean, they rarely give you, you know, true stuff that's really going to happen, if you know what I mean. But of course, some people are so mind control. Like if somebody dreamed this with a big missile in their dream, they're going to wake up thinking, well, that's, you know, if they remember it, they're going to wake up thinking, oh my God, that's going to take out our city or something. You know what I'm saying? Okay, so anyway, oh. So yeah, this is kind of quick. And they repeat things over and over again. Like they just put the same kind of themes and stuff. You know, like where I was standing outside the 3 big tall buildings. It could have been 4 buildings. You know, just like with that tornado one that I got a few months ago, where I was standing outside and looking up, and I was in Kansas City at that time when they gave me that virtual reality experience. But yeah, they throw like the exact same stuff over and over again. But every you know, dream or virtual reality experience they give me, I mean, still, it's always unique. There's always going to be unique stuff. You know, so that's kind of cool, even though they kind of throw some stuff, repeating stuff, you know, like me being, you know, standing there outside. It's like I was about to go back in the building where I work, but I was standing outside in the parking lot. But anyway, it's mainly the reptilians that create everybody's dreams for them. But like I say, if you pay attention, they're not dreams. They're better than dreams. Like I say, I'll still have to do a video about all the differences. But anyway, yeah, because some of them are just a combination of all of the above, but dreams are dreams, and then you have virtual reality experiences, then you have out-of-body experiences, but a lot of that is also, you know, virtual reality elements. Sometimes you feel like you're in a different dimension, sometimes it feels like 3D. I have remote views, I have lucid dreams, which most of those totally feel virtual reality, except like I'm in heaven realm dimension. Okay, so anyway, so basically it's like, it started off, this experience started off where I was standing outside, the city I was in, I have no idea, they didn't tell me that, but I was in like a strange city. And there were like 2 big tall buildings, like 1 or 2 to the left of me, 1 on the right, and they were pretty tall, high rises. And the one on the right was like the one that I actually worked in. But for whatever reason, why I was standing there in the parking lot with 5 or 6 other coworkers, I mean, I don't know why, you know. It's just that this was kind of quick experience. But yeah, so I was standing there. And then, you know, we were overlooking, I was sitting there I cocked my head to the left, and I saw this big, huge missile. And this missile was 3 feet wide. Let's see, 3 feet wide, maybe even 3.5 feet wide. I mean, it was very large. 3.5 feet wide, and it was all silver. Or, you know, I don't know, like maybe titanium color, which is kind of like silver. And it pretty much looked just like this. Except it was all silver, and it was like, I mean, it was long. It was just sitting there on the parking lot, on the asphalt. And so it was like 20, I don't know, maybe 20 feet, let's see, 10, maybe about 22 feet long. I mean, it was very, very, very large. And what triggered this experience was because, like, 2 nights in a row, I just kept vaguely hearing on the news in real life about, you know, they kept showing missiles and talking about North Korea and Trump and stuff. And, you know, I don't really listen to that stuff, but still, it still registers in my brain, and the aliens can take that bit of information. So that's why they created this for me. And I don't know if Joel gave it to me, but I know it was a reptilian that gave it to me. And anyway, they create for me to feel fear a lot in my experiences. And this one, I felt fear. But anyway, so I was standing there looking at the Nuke missile. And anyway, and like I say, there was 3 or 4 co-workers up to my left and a couple to my right standing there. And the first time that it went off, it shot off the missile, it just kind of went more in the air, so it didn't like ricochet. You know, it kind of more, it went up, it shot up. Now, I don't know, you know, I didn't see anybody actually manning the missile to make it shoot off, but, you know, this was just like lucid dream, virtual reality. So anyway, so the missile, you know, took off, but it shot up more in the air, so it didn't hit anything and it did a ricochet. So then, and I was like, and I started to feel fear as I was standing there. I started to feel fear because I'm thinking, okay, that thing looks dangerous. So then I turned around and there was a big wall. So say I was facing north. So I turned around all the way south and there was a big, huge wall to my left. And, or actually, I was standing at the side. If I completely around, then yeah, it was straight ahead. But basically to my left, if you know, when I cocked around sideways, there's a big, huge wall, and it was pretty tall, and it wasn't. It just seemed like a wall. I don't really remember it actually being a building or anything. It was just a wall. Like a brick wall. And then I started to feel fear because I was like, oh my God, because I knew they were about, whoever shot it off was about, like it was about to shoot off and it was about to go straight instead of up in the air, and it was going to hit that wall and ricochet. All the fire and shit was going to ricochet back. And anyway, so eventually it did shoot off, and it started, you know, all the fire came out of the back, and a bunch of fire and stuff, and smoke and stuff, you know, went high in the air, and I knew that some of the people actually died in that. There were some people that were already in that big building to the left, that big high-rise, and I knew that those people were probably dead. And like I say, they repeated that theme in that tornado experience I had. So anyway, so then I knew I had to get the hell, after I saw that red fire and shit, and after it ricocheted, that smoke and fire was like coming at me. So I started running to my right, away from it, and then I ended up into my workplace, to the right high-rise building. And so yeah, anyway, I did feel like fear, and that's not the first time that they put fire and stuff in my experiences. But anyway, so yeah, so I knew that my life was in danger at that point after it ricocheted off the freaking concrete. And so anyway, I started running, you know, in the parking lot on the asphalt over to my right to get inside the building. And like I said, I already knew some people died because I guess some of that building, I guess, exploded. And, you know, the building, the high-rise towards my left. So the building towards the right, I ended up inside the building. It seemed like I was on the 10th or 11th floor. And there was like 4 or 5 coworkers in there. And this coworker came up to me and said, oh, Beckley, which the aliens, they got that wrong. I think they really meant to come up with the word Becky, but Anyway, she was like, Beckley so-and-so, I can't remember, I think she did say a last name, but I can't remember it. And she said, Beckley, she died. Because like I said, I already knew some people probably died in that high-rise to the left. And I think there was a couple other people, not just her, that died or whatever. But we were all safe. And like I say, I felt like I was on the 10th or 11th floor of this high-rise, and it's like I was working there. In real life, I've never worked in a high-rise, but I've took a business trip, so to speak, and I was on the 11th floor in St. Paul. So see, they read off that, my brain. Okay, so anyway, and then it's like one part of the experience, I was sitting on the carpet of that office, you know, where I worked. I was sitting down on the carpet, like Indian style. And there was one small sexual thing, but I'm going to edit that part out. I'll just edit that out. But yeah, there was one sexual thing in it. Okay, so here's all the really weird, cool part. Here's all the virtual reality part. But before I talk about that, I want to make sure I didn't forget anything else. But yeah, so anyway, the first time the missile went off, and like I say, I don't know, they didn't show me like somebody standing there manning the missile, but it just shot off in the air, which we were safe because it went far away from us. And then the second time around, I knew that it was about, whoever that was controlling it was about to shoot it into the concrete wall, and it was going to ricochet the fire and debris and shit. Okay, so anyway, so lastly, if I forget anything, which I don't think I am, I'll put it in the comments or whatever. Okay, so the cool virtual reality part of it. Okay, so see, in real life, back when I was 29, I was in this bad car accident. Well, to me, it was very bad. I hit this car head on. Well, she hit me, basically. Well, that's another story. But so I hit this car head on at 40 miles an hour, and I had my seatbelt on. But the only injury I had was I had a small little bloody mark at the left side of my right thumb. The left side of my right thumb, and that was the only injury that I got. Well, except for like psychological injuries. That was the only injury I got from that car accident, and that's another video, that's another story. Because now that I think about it and everything, because I have had bad attacks by the beings, by the reptilians, and, you know, I think they tried to kill me, I really do. I mean, now that I think about it, if you think about it, and the other, some other aliens had to give me some telepathic message so it would save my life. But that's another story. And that was in real life when I had that car accident. And I injured the left part of my thumb. And the right thumb. Okay, so anyway, so they took that bit of information and created it, you know, put it in this experience. So anyway, so after this, actually it was either before or after the small sexual thing, and after a female co-worker came up. And actually, there was a couple people, too, that seemed like they were people that I actually went to school with back, like, in elementary school and stuff, but I can't remember who they were, except for Becky. My sister had a friend named Becky, but she was actually her friend and not my friend. But, yeah, and she's the one that basically walked up to me. But she was actual Becky, but it's kind of funny. She was saying that this woman named Beckley somebody, and there is this finance center called Beckley Finance Center where I work or whatever. So it's just kind of funny how they take these little bits of information from your brain, because to them it's just like a computer system, like our brain is like a computer system. Okay, so anyway, the last part, when I was sitting there after the little sexual part, and it was something that I was visually watching, but I'm going to edit that out. Okay, so anyway, so the last part, I was looking down at my right thumb. Actually, I can't remember if it was the right thumb or the left thumb now. But anyway, I think it could have been the left thumb. I think it was the left thumb. I looked down at my left thumb, and there was like a 3/4 inch reddish blister that formed on top. Because like I say, you know, in real life, that was the only injury, you know, from that car accident. So from this lucid dream, from the detonation of that missile, the nuke missile, the only injury I came out with was the, on my thumb. And I forgot to mention something too. I did actually feel a burning pain. That was part of like virtual reality, because I actually felt the burning sensation, and it seemed like I almost did kind of feel some burning sensation on my legs or whatever as I was like running off away from the debris and the fire when it ricocheted off the wall. But I looked down at my thumb and there was like 3/4 inch, which is pretty damn tall, blister that was protruding up from my thumb. Then as I was watching it, it literally started melting down into my thumb, almost like as if the bone was melting along with it. And then the skin just kind of started slowly melting away. It started peeling away down from the bone. But the thing is, I don't really remember seeing a bone, so it's kind of like my whole bone was even melting as well. But anyway, that was my cool. But this was more like lucid dream with virtual reality elements, as opposed to, you know what I'm saying? Because I have different clarities of lucid dreams. I have different clarities of dreams. I have different clarities of combinations. You know what I'm saying? But I'm going to do a video on all that. Because, I mean, if you really pay attention, I mean, you're going to know all this. You know, you'll wake up and be like, wow, that was freaking downright completely virtual reality, where I felt like I was freaking in 3D, you know? But you really weren't. Okay, so anyway, that was my experience. I don't think I'm forgetting anything important, but the cool thing was the blister thing. And the cool thing was feeling the fear and stuff, and that's not the first time. They create, like, fire, and then I start feeling, like, fear, you know? But that's pretty cool. Thanks for listening.